Thank you. Thanks so much to each and every one of you, and happy Labor Day. Angela, Austin, they're here with me, and our Chinese exchange student, Wei Ying Lin, is here, so we'll get a chance for her to meet you all and understand what the American democratic process is all about. Before I get started, I want to say one simple thing. If you are here, and if you are a tracker from the other side, I want you to come sit right here. Sit right there. Because I want you to make sure that you get everything that I say, so when you post it on Think Progress, they can make sure that I stay the #1 target in this country for member position. What they need to understand is that I serve a mighty God. And my God does not walk in the realm of fear. My God walks in the realm of strength and courage. That's why I'm not afraid of them. And neither should you. Look, this election coming up is all about you. In 2010, what you did was something that was absolutely incredible. For the first time, we beat the other side. We beat the left at the grassroots movement. That's why they don't like what you're doing. That's why they don't like the fact that you have educated yourself on the issues, that you're standing on principles. Because if that happens again in 2012, we will start to turn the corner and get this country going back in the right direction. The direction that our founding fathers established for us. So don't worry about people saying your name on stages and on TV and everything like that. Continue to do that which you have been called to do. To stand up for those basic principles of limited government. And where did limited government come from? Limited government came from the Declaration of Independence. When Thomas Jefferson wrote those lists of grievances against the British, he was talking about the intrusive and the invasive nature of government. And so that when John Jay, Hamilton, and Madison came later and they wrote the U.S. Constitution, they were talking about a place where there would be limited government. They were talking about a place, the United States of America, where the preeminence would be with the individual, their rights, their freedoms, their sovereignty. That's what limited government is all about. And if you have limited government, then you will have fiscal responsibility. Fiscal responsibility means that we should not have 4 straight years of $1 trillion plus deficits. Especially when someone 4 years ago stood up and said, I'm going to cut the deficit in half. Well, guess what? You lied. I find it so interesting when I'm sitting and I'm listening to the talking heads that came out yesterday and during our convention. How they were saying all of this stuff about, well, the Republicans were not specific enough. We don't know what they were talking about. Well, 4 years ago, these guys ran a campaign called Hope and Change we can believe in. And now they have gone so far to the left that they have gone back and they have borrowed a theme from the old Soviet Union. Yes. Forward. Now, where are your specifics in that? Yeah. We cannot allow empty suit leadership in the United States of America. And that's exactly what the Vaughns were talking about. Empty suit leadership, charlatans, people that are getting positions of power and leadership in this country. They do not have the competence. They are totally inept. They are ignorant. They are devoid of understanding. That which makes the United States of America great and exceptional. The other principle of the Tea Party is the free market. If you have individual sovereignty, you will have a free market. Because that's where you get innovation. That's where you get ingenuity. I am tired of hearing the left talk about government investment. The question we should ask them, what's the rate of return on a government investment? I can tell you what the rate of return on a government investment is. It's $16 trillion in debt. But if you really look at what our debt is, if you take into account the unfunded mandates and liabilities, we're talking about a debt that's closer to 85, maybe even higher, $100 trillion. You know, there's a young child back here behind me that's 5 months old. This is a moral decision that we have to make in just 60 days.
That's right.
It's a moral decision that says, are we going to be so selfish that we will bankrupt the future for our children and grandchildren? Or will we stand on principle? And when we understand that one simple thing, the American genome, our DNA, is built upon liberty, freedom, and democracy. And we, for 236 years, have passed that on to subsequent generations. This could be the first time that we do not pass it on. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, it is a moral decision that you have to make. It's a moral decision that every American has to make. And I feel sorry for those Americans that for whatever reason will probably make the wrong decision. Because for whatever reason, they do not understand the essence of what it means to be free. But I will tell you that the Tea Party needs to add one more principle. And it's a very important principle, because the Vaughns talked about it. The most important responsibility of the federal government is to provide for the common defense. When you look at the Constitution in Article 1, Section 8, those tasks that are given to the Congress, read those tasks and see how many of those tasks are defense related. We have to keep the American people safe and secure. But when you look at this administration, I was listening to them today talk about this great foreign policy expertise. I almost threw up the chocolate milk that I was drinking. Think about what happened early on in Honduras, when a president sided with a Marxist socialist dictator who was allied to Hugo Chavez. And that was the beginning. And think about what just happened not too many days ago, when a Russian attack submarine was in our coastal waters, undetected for about 2 months. And now Vladimir Putin is talking about putting naval bases again in Cuba. Vladimir Putin would not be talking about putting naval bases in Cuba if we had a leader like a Ronald Reagan that talked about peace through strength. Egypt would not be under control of the Muslim Brotherhood if we had a true leader. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard would not be in Syria if you had a true leader. Russia and China would not be vetoing all of our resolutions in the United Nations if you had a true leader. Limited government, fiscal responsibility, free markets, national security. That's the 4 principles that we got to stand on, Pam. That's the 4 principles that everyone here has to understand and educate people on. That's the 4 principles every time someone talks about the Tea Party. You say, you mean the constitutional conservative grassroots movement? Because that's what you are. And articulate that. What's the plan for the other side? It's to demonize. It's to demagogue. It's to castigate. It's to attack. How wretched it is that you would have someone's father run an ad about me punching women in the face. How wretched is it that you would have someone that would actually run an ad using little children, talking about things they don't understand? How wretched is it that I have an opponent that after a rally over in Wellington, and you were there taping it, that he would actually go on and say, Congressman West was out with his motorcycle vest with all his gang patches on. That's a 1st Infantry Division gang patch. From Desert Shield, Desert Storm. That's a 4th Infantry Division gang patch from Iraqi freedom. That's a U.S. Army gang patch. That's a Christian gang patch. That's a Gadsden flag gang patch. That's a gang patch from a soldier, a Marine who died. That's a gang patch for paratroopers. How dare they? That's why they're not going to win. Because they don't understand the essence of what it means to serve this great nation. They don't understand the essence of what it means to be an American and hold up the constitutional principles that were set forth for us. What they do know, if you read the president's last budget, fiscal year 2013, that did not get a single vote in the House, 0 to 414. Did not get a single vote in the Senate, 0 to 97. All they want to do? $1.9 trillion of new taxes. Now where's that $1.9 trillion of new taxes going? Is it going to do anything to make sure that Medicare and Social Security is protected and preserved? No, not mentioned. Is it going to make sure that we prioritize our federal government? No. We haven't had a budget in over 1,200 days. Where is it going? It's going to a 53% increase in the federal government. That's where it's going. That's where it hadn't passed. It's spending, but be very careful, because they call that government investments. And always ask, what's the dividend return on that investment? They talk about the fact that we just want to raise taxes on everybody else. No, we want to keep the tax rates where they are for everybody. Because that's the key to putting money back in your pockets so that the free market can grow. What we actually want to do, we want to reduce those 6 tax brackets down to 2 tax brackets. Simplify this code, 25% and 10%. We want everybody participating in the system here in the United States of America. They want capital gains taxes to go from 15% to 25%. They want dividends taxes. Seniors, pay attention. They want dividends taxes to go from 15% to 43.4%. How many of you out there have businesses you want to pass on to future generations in your family? They want the death tax to go from 35% to 55%. They want the minimum exemption level to go from 5 million down to 1 million. That's not how you're going to promote success. I continue to hear them talk about 27 straight months of job growth. Well, I guess if you have one person get a job, they consider that job growth. But they're not telling the truth to the American people. The truth is that we have the lowest workforce participation level in 31 years. We have 23 million Americans unemployed, underemployed, or off the rolls, totally discouraged. 15, almost to 16%. That's the real rate, not 8.3%. And pay attention, because the August job numbers come out in August. The August job numbers come out Friday. That's the real thing we should be looking for. I pray that it gets better. But under these policies, these tax killing policies, these regulatory killing policies, it's probably not going to get better. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a simple choice that you have to make. Do you want to continue to be a constitutional republic? Yes. Or do you want to be a simple, socialist, egalitarian, welfare, nanny state? Think about, in 3.5 years, 9.3 million more Americans in poverty, a 46-year high. In 3.5 years, a 46% increase of Americans on food stamps. And we have a government that's taking your taxpayer dollars, running radio and TV ads for people to get on food stamps. Go back and read the 1964 Food Stamp Act and see the original purposes and understand how far we've gotten away from it. So that now you can just sit at home with your EBT card and get money put right into an account. Free health care, free cell phones, free education. All on the backs of the people such as yourselves that are out there working hard. This class of Americans that are producers, the top 1%. pays close to 40% of federal income taxes. The top 25% of wage-earning households in America pay 90% of federal income taxes. So the question I'm going to ask, young lady, and hopefully you'll take it back to your little masters. Mr. Obama, what is fair? What is fair share? When 47% of wage-earning households in this country pay absolutely nothing, are you just looking to expand and grow that entitlement class so that they can become your permanently economic dependent voting electorate block? So the national level elections for hits and for all will always fall to you? Will you continue to run this country by executive order fiat, not understanding the legislative process, not under the system of balances and checks, the system of separation of power? Do you believe, as King George once believed, that we are here to be ruled, not governed? Because it says there comes a time when you don't have the consent of the governed, that we can throw this government off of our backs. And I don't know how many of you have ever run track and have ever run a 400-meter dash, but when you come around on that backside, they say that's when you get the monkey on your back. For our business owners, for all of you out there that are struggling, trying to make ends meet, we need to get this government off your back. And it happens on the 6th of November. From now till then, you got to gird yourselves. You got to stand proud. You have to do as Billy Vaughn has a tattoo on his forearm that came from his son in SEAL Team 6. It says, Molon Lavé. Molon Lavé is the response that Leonidas gave to Xerxes at the Battle of Thermopylae. When the Spartans and the armies of Greece stood in that gap, and Xerxes came up to the Spartan king and said, lay down your weapons. And he replied, Molon Lavé. Come and get them. Each and every one of you, this is what you must say to the liberal progressive socialists who want to take your country. You tell them, Molon Lavé. That's right. Come and get it. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. And God bless these United States of America. Thank you.